Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I am so excited. I want some applause before we even start. So get those hands ready. You're going to be using them a lot this evening for these fantastic and amazing authors. I am Robert Gatewood. I'm actually Leon's older brother. I'm from the Washington, D.C. area, and some people in the D.C. area know me as the marketing pulpit guy. I have a radio show on Radio 1 called the Marketing Pulpit International, broadcasting every Friday at 10:30 a.m. on the radio dial, 95.9. And I'm also a business developer. I help companies create their businesses. I've written a couple of books myself. I'm also an author. I wrote a book called Played in Full, and I wrote another book called Smarter Than the Boss. So if one of y'all happen to leave your table and you look up, I'm there, so trying to hog a couple of books. But I want to thank everybody. Leon in particular, he said he's not coming to the mic. I can't make him, okay? He's my little brother, but still, I still can't make him. I can't beat him up right now. He's bigger than me, actually. He's got more muscle. Did he keep your microphone? No, the microphone. Can you all hear me? Yes. Okay, good. But I'm happy to be here. I was here last about a year ago. We had about 5 authors, and now we have 18 authors. And we owe this gratitude to Miss Parita Adams. Let's give her a hand. Leon, you partner with the right person. I mean, we've had these meetings, we've been planning, and I can just see the excitement in her face. And thank you again, Parita. Thank you for the folks who traveled from afar. We got a group here from the Washington, D.C. area. Let's give them a hand. All right. They came all the way from D.C. to see me. All right. That's pretty good, right? But we got a lot of authors today. And what we're going to do, we're going to use, what's the word? Be brief if we can. Just because we have more authors than we would normally have, so that the folks on the end can still get their piece in, because I want to see the last. I want to be to the very last one. And so everybody, what you want to do is get people to come to your booth. That's what you want to do. Try to get folks to come to your booth and let people know that you have books and what you're doing here. So hang on one second. I just missed something here. 1 second. 1, 2, 3.
And I'm going to ask all authors when you go up to the podium, please take your book with you to the podium.
Bring your book to the podium. Thank you, Parita. Now, once again, I'm going to get out the way, but I did want to say this. On my radio show this past Friday, you can go to marketingpulpit.com. We talked about authors and some of the benefits of being an author, like your personal branding, using it as a lead magnet when you're trying to sell your services, and it can be very lucrative. Remind me of this one lady, she said, she called her husband, she said, "Honey, I'm an Amazon bestseller. Pack your bags." And so her husband said, "Should I pack my golf clubs?" She said, "I don't care what you pack, as long as you're out of there by noon." Okay. That's not what you want when you hit the lottery or win the. But anyway, thanks everybody for coming out. What I'm going to do, I'm going to bring to the podium Miss Parita Adams. And just quickly, when you come to the podium, remember again, what you see on the screen, that's what we see out in the audience. I'm going to say hello to all of the virtual people who are tuning in. We have some very good authors that are not present in the building, but they're online. I see Shakita, I see Hollis, I see Carmen, I see Tina, I see Deborah. Love you guys. Thanks for hanging in there. I'm going to bring Miss Parita Adams to the podium. Give her a hand as she comes to the podium right now, ladies and gentlemen. Let me get her name up here on the screen. And Parita, please.
Thank you. Well, good evening, everybody. I am so excited for all of these wonderful authors. They have been simply amazing. I know how important it is when you write your story. You really need to share it. And you also want to share it, but sometimes you just don't know how, or you just don't think anybody would think it's important enough. But you're all important. So share your stories. And I'm so grateful that y'all came this evening. We have been meeting for quite some time, but you are simply amazing. I couldn't have think of a better group of authors who I would rather work with. And so thank you, and I wish you much success. Okay. And as Robert was saying, we have DC in the building, but we also have people from Maryland and Charlotte and Greensboro and Dallas. And so it was my goal to get diverse. It was my goal to, talk to God about who he wanted. So it wasn't that he didn't want others. We just simply couldn't fit them all in. So we have a waiting list right now, actually. So thank you again. Hi, virtual authors. You know I love you. I love you to pieces. Okay. I just want to start off by saying I am a 5-time best-selling author. I have been writing since I was 5. Somewhat of an introvert, but a lot of people would question that and say, no, she's loud. But anyway, but the thing I did most was I felt like writing a book was going on a journey. And let me make sure I stay on cue because I don't want to be called off. So that's what I did. And that's what they do. They take you on a journey. Books inspire, educate, and motivate you. So I'm so excited. Y'all keep writing. Some of these authors have more than one, and some of them have one that's just super phenomenal. So keep going. You know I'm going to be there rooting you on, right? All right. So without further ado, I brought one of the books that I have recently written. It's called The Winner's Circle Journal: How to Recognize Your Wins and Celebrate. I think it's important for you to recognize your win. Writing these books are not easy. It's sacrifice, it's time, and it's not easy. And it's important when you do something, whether it's write a book, lose weight, whatever that goal is for you to celebrate. That way you know that you have a capability. You can do more. You can be more. You are more. So without further ado, I'm not going to hog up the time. Like he says, we have 18 authors, and I'm so excited. But you can get my book from me later. Come visit me at my table. My book is $20. It's a 30-day journal, and it is a brag book. So you're going to be putting all your wins in here because you're all winners, every last one. All right. Thank you.
Let's give Parita another hand. That's phenomenal. I also want to mention Miss a behind-the-scenes young lady who has been phenomenal throughout this entire process, Miss Devin Pettiford. She set up the meeting. She called me. She got the Zoom going. She's been having Parita and everybody putting our heads together. So let's give her a hand wherever she is around here. Come on here, Devin. Come on and take a bow. Let's give Devin Pettiford a hand. Come on here. Come on here. Give us a quick hello.
Really? Hello, everyone. Thank you all so very, very much for joining us this evening. Our first evening with the authors, that is a hybrid event. We appreciate you for your support, and we hope you are able to spread the word in regards to HOLLA and all the wonderful things that we're doing here and the beautiful authors and inspiring works that they have been in agreement with sharing with us in our group in this journey. So thank you so much.
Thank you. That's one thing Leon has a knack for, is assembling talent. And so he has a really natural gift for that. So that's why I'm here, right?
Yeah, right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep it moving here. Next author coming up, she was actually at the last HOLLA evening with the authors, and she was so good, we invited her back again. She's a part of the Anslin County Writers Club, and she's a familiar face around town. Let's give a hand to Miss Kay Ratliff as she comes forward.
Hello there. I'm Kay Nelson Ratliff. Kay is spelled with an E. Ratliff is not. I'm native of Greensboro, North Carolina, but I lived in Wadesboro for many, many years with my husband of 53 years. We have two children, a son that is a Presbyterian minister and a daughter who is a communication specialist and technical writer herself. We 4 grandchildren, 3 grandsons, and a granddaughter. The eldest grandson is a writer who has been published. He's also a marketing entrepreneur in Asheville, North Carolina. Our granddaughter, our only granddaughter, is an emerging author who is in high school and has already been published. I'm a retired clinical social worker, having spent over 40 years in the North Carolina mental health system, where I was a therapist and administrator. My book is called The River Running Through Him. Just as a river shapes the contours of the land through which it flows, so the currents such as family and friends and experiences shape our lives, the currents that flow through our lives. This collection of poems reflects some of the currents in my life, such as love, lost or found, my family, my faith, my relationship to this place that I have adopted as my home. Thus, the poems are presented in somewhat of a chronological order when they were written, spanning my lifetime from college days through close to the present time. Charlotte Bronte once said that there is no art without poetry, and I believe that's true. But poetry is a very intimate form of literary expression. All authors put a lot of themselves into their work, but poets bare their souls in a very peculiarly intimate sort of way, and we only ask that you be kind. I also try to write poems that can be understood and in which the reader can find something that they can relate to from their own life and experiences. The title poem is about this river, the Yadkin PD, which shapes and nourishes this place we call Anson County, and about my husband's lifelong relationship to and love of the river. The trilogy Traveling 109 are my reflections about my relationship to the place which I have adopted as my home. The River Running Through is currently available on Amazon or from Goose River Press. If ordering from Goose River Press, click on the website, then the bookstore, and then poetry under the bookstore. My website is kratliff.com, and a link to Goose River Press should be on there if my webmaster grandson has put it on there like he should. I'm currently working on another poetry collection called Eastview, which is set in Wadesboro. I write a lot about place. I'm also working on a collection of short stories that both should be available sometime this year. I have poems and stories in 2 or 3 editions of Anson Pathways and in Goose River Anthology 2021 and 2022. And I'm very proud and humbled by the fact that I have a poem in the 20-year memorial anthology of 9/11, which is called Crossing the Rift, and was published by Press 53 in Winston-Salem and edited by former North Carolina poet laureate Joseph Bethante. Thank you for having me at this wonderful event featuring authors.
Thank you, Ms. Ratliff. It's our homegrown talent. And we have much homegrown talent. Thank you again for coming out. We're going to get into our virtual authors. Now, this is where, once again, I have to give much credit to Rita and Devin for coordinating this. When Devin contacted me, she laid it at my feet. It's like, we know you can make it happen. I'm like, you sure about that? Well, the test is in the pudding. We're going to find out if it actually works. Now, if you are able to, you'll be able to see the virtual artist on the big screen. So you might position yourself. If you authors have to stand up and move around, you'll see it on the big screen. We're going to bring up our first author. She's going to be the guinea pig. So Chiquita, get ready for better or worse. We're going to bring you up. Let me get your name up here on the screen. And so let me, Chiquita, she has a book Keto on Keto, and we'll let her do her spiel. So hang on, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show, Shakita.
Hi, guys. Hi.
Right, can we hear on the
Hello. Can you guys hear me? I can't hear. Well, my name is Shakita Brimmer. I'm the author of Keto on Keto. And I just want to start by saying I am originally from St. Louis, Missouri. I relocated to Atlanta, Georgia during the pandemic for better opportunities for my family and I. I am married, celebrating 15 years this year, and I have 3 wonderful kids. I have a 16-year-old son and 2 twin girls, 7 years old. And I'm a quality assurance analyst, which is pretty rewarding. I like it. But I just want to say that I was inspired to write Keto on Keto. I faced some health challenges after I had my daughters. I developed what they call preeclampsia. And basically my blood pressure went up. I was diagnosed with hypertension. I had prediabetes. And it was a scary time for me because these are issues that I had never faced. And so that was kind of scary for me. So my husband actually came to me and said, hey, let's try something called keto. And I'm like, okay, what is keto? So we researched keto. We started keto, and in 3 short months, I was able to reduce my prediabetes. I had gotten rid of it completely, and I was able to come off all my pre-hypertension medication, which means I had no longer had hypertension. So that was just in 3 short months. So I really was inspired by that. I was like, oh, if this can help me, then what can I do to help others? So I started researching keto. Of course, people ask me, how did you do it? How did you lose the weight? Which is just the added benefit to it. So I would give out information and say, hey, try this, do this. But I actually took the time and research and say, hey, a lot of people are interested in this. How can I make this simple and give you everything you need? So got an idea from a friend to say, hey, just put in the book. And I'm like, okay, I'm writing. This is new for me, a first-time author. So I decided to do the research, and I put it simply inside of the starter guide. And so it talks about keto. Like, I know there's a lot of preconceived notions out there, but it actually gives you the scientific method of keto, what keto is, the benefits of keto. I gave you a shopping guide in here so you know exactly what to get when you go to the grocery store, all the kitchen essentials. And I even added some great recipes in there. So all the things that we love to eat, like our chili and our hamburgers and pizzas, yes, you get to eat all of that on keto and still be healthy. I know, right? It's crazy. But yes, I wanted to make it simple. I wanted to say, here you go. And this starter guide. So this is a one-stop shop for everything that you need to know, what you need to get, and how to change your life. Because it really did change my life. I was able to lose 66 pounds total on keto. But then, like I said, that's the added benefit. I was able to reduce all my medical issues that I had with keto. So that's my why that I wrote, because I feel like it will be beneficial to anyone who's facing any challenges, or let's just say, hey, I want to drop a couple of pounds, especially like this wonderful event. I want to look good for this wonderful event. Let me try keto so I can go ahead and look good and feel good. But it truly is a lifestyle change. It is a lifestyle. And like I said, it's a good journey because you're still eating all the good foods, all the real foods from the earth. So God put everything that we needed here. So I just took it and say, hey, let's make it simple for him. So that's my story, and that's why I wrote the Keto on Keto. Oh, and you can also, you can find it on ketoonketo.com or Amazon.com. I am on Amazon. So ketoonketo.com, Amazon.com, or you can follow me on my social media platforms, Keto on Keto. That's for Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, ketoonketo.com. So that's where you can find me. I made it simple. Right.
Give Keita another hand. All right. Give Keita another hand. Is there two of me in here? All right. You can turn that one down now, Leon.
Let's give her another hand.
All right. You never know. As you can see, we had a little technological delay there. Got to keep it interesting. Got to keep it interesting. All right. Also, if you have the book, most of the authors have their web addresses. I didn't call them out, but go back and Parita and Miss Kay Ratliff, make sure you visit their website, purchase their books, or visit their booths. Now, of course, the virtual people, we can't visit their booth, but we can visit their websites. Oh, the book's over there. Okay, the book's out there. Very good. All right, all right. And we have all the authors' books, the virtual authors of, all right. See, that's Parita for you. Let's give this lady another hand. All right. She didn't miss anything. All right, next young man, Hollis Cam. He has a book called Boldly Bound. I'm not going to try to tell his story. His bio is in the book. I'm just going to bring him on. He's one of our virtual authors presenting tonight. So let's give him a hand if he comes forward.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for HOLLA for inviting me to speak. I'm really excited about being here. So I'm blown away that I received an accommodation from the city of New York for my humanitarian work of impacting thousands of Caribbean LGBTQ+ folks. There was a time in my life when all my hard work didn't matter. I'm still blown away that I've coached and taught over 3,000 people how to promote and elevate their careers, positions, and businesses, and yet there was a time when all the work that I did in my development was falling flat. Summer 2005, I was having lunch with the president. He invited me to have lunch with him, and I was so excited about getting this promotion. I spent 15 years in this company, so I know I was going to get this. What? Wait. Are you telling me that? Wait. You're telling me that I could apply for the position, but I won't get it? I spent friggin' 15 years in this company. My blood, sweat, tears, time. I had to train the new director. I had the pain that I was betrayed by a company that I worked for 15 years. How many times has this happened to you? But I had to detain all of that thinking and start thinking what I would gain. I studied, I got certified after taking the exam 2 times, and I could never get those 8 hours of testing back. I focused on myself, I did my affirmations, my mantras, and through coaching, I made sure that I was seen at work and heard at work. I tapped into myself and my self-love. So when the opportunity was put forth again, and this time I had lunch with the president, he said, yes, you are being promoted. So I was promoted to director. 2 years later, I was promoted to vice president. 1 year later, I was promoted to senior vice president of human resources. So there'll be times when you think you deserve something and you don't get it. And you probably do deserve it. But with perseverance, work, personal development, and self-love, not only that we deserve it, we will actually get it. So go get it. So I'm Hollis Cam, and I'm a speaker, a coach, and the author of Boldly Bound, an action journal for self-love and body confidence. So the action journal is broken up into 5 different areas. So 5 different techniques, which is adoration, intimacy, nourishment, movement, and adornment. So adoration is using your internal and external voice for self-love. So ritual examples are affirmations and mantras. And intimacy is realizing those profound moments about yourself, as well as using touch for body love. So this is where you spend time feeling and knowing yourself and your body. Rituals examples are massage, exploration, and self-pleasure. Nourishment is curating the right things that go into your mind and your body for overall health. So ritual examples are food, body products, and meditation. And movement is using kinetic energy and learning how to pivot to ensure flexibility both in your mind and your body. Ritual examples are dancing, exercise, and stretching. And then adornment, the last one, which I think is like the icing on the cake. It's the decoration of your body while giving gratitude to the person you are. So ritual examples are clothing, tattoos, jewelry, etc. So Boldly Bound is a 36-day action journal. Or it could actually be in 36 weeks, depending on how you want to take it. And each day is broken up into 3 different areas. In the beginning of the day, you focus on, it's actually, you start off with an affirmation. So you go in the mirror or you stand and just say an affirmation of yourself or for yourself about yourself. And then you have a writing prompt in the morning. And then in the middle of the day, this is where you would actually do a ritual. And then at the end of the day, then there's another activity that you would do during the day. So I will say this journal is definitely honing in to who you are and getting to know you better. It's not for the faint of heart. So this is definitely one of those. If you want change and if you want transformation, you're focusing on yourself every single day or every week. What this takes you on is a journey of getting to know you more so you could accept who you are in every moment. You could release all the negative energy about yourself and you could celebrate yourself. And how in the beginning of the journal, it does give you an information on how, like, what are the different things that you need to get ready. Different materials. So therefore you have a list and you could go out and most of these materials you have around your house. So it's really about doing action and also being. So it's the mindset work and the action, which are basically the rituals, which I mentioned earlier. Again, I want to just say thank you, Holla, for having me. And just know that you could reach me on my Instagram at holliscam or on my website at holliscam.com. And just know that you are worth it. You are beautiful. Invest in yourself. Thank you.
I like that. Invest in yourself. I like that, man. I like that. I like the sound of that. Thank you. Let's give our Hollis another hand. I'm really enjoying this. This is a great way to spend a Saturday afternoon. And I'm really just thanking all of the authors and their great deliveries and being very conscious of the time and you putting a lot of good information in a short period of time. And I'm really appreciating that. Next, I want to bring up Ms. Carmen Hardnett. She's actually raised in Brandywine, Maryland. That's right up, not far from where I'm living right now. Thank you. I see a home girl in the house. So she's going to come up and talk about prayer, the key to divine relationships. We bring her to the stage.
Hello. Hello, everyone. So good to be here today. I want to thank HOLLA and Genesis for having me. My name is Carmen Hodnett. My last name is spelled Hodnett. And like he just said, I was born and raised in Brandywine, Maryland. I now live in Danville, Virginia. I am married. I've been married for 43 years. I have 5 children and 4 grandchildren. I am also the CEO and founder of Worker Bee Administration Services. So, prayer, the key to a divine relationship. This is my first book that I wrote, and this book was so much of an inspiration to me to write because I grew up in the church and I was almost grown and I would hear preachers preach and everything, but I really didn't get what the Bible was telling me. How was it pertaining to me? Did I really know God? And so that inspired me to be able to write about it because I'm telling about my journey and how I developed my close relationship with God. So for those who struggle with learning the word and learning it for yourself and building that relationship, which is very important in our life, build that relationship, open the Bible, read it, apply it, understand it, and just grow from it. Because like I said, I did not understand the word fully. So I went to church and then I went to school, then I went to Bible college because I was just so, interested and just wanted to know, what is it that God is saying to me? What is it that how I can use the word to and apply it to my life daily, and just fully understanding it is the key thing. So after I graduated from Bible college and everything, God said, okay, help somebody else to understand. So this book, like I said, prayer, the divine, the key to a divine relationship is about you and God only. So it's about the beginning steps, the basic steps on how to read the word, understand the word, gain knowledge from the word, apply it to yourself, and grow so that you and God's relationship can grow together. I have a new project coming out that is a spinoff of this book, and it's called Prayer, the Key to the Divine Relationship Workbook. And what I have done is I'm putting questions that you answer. The book is just for you and your study time so that you can have a learning and studying technique on how to apply it to yourself. And through it all, you will grow. And like I said, that builds your relationship. So nobody is going to grade you on your answers. It's all about you. The workbook is your study time, how you grow, you write your answers. And I'm telling you, I promise you, once you develop that study technique and have your beginning basic from this book, I'm telling you, you will grow more, and more in God's word and become solely dependent on it. Now you can purchase Prayer, the Key to a Divine Relationship on Amazon. They have the hardcover for $15.29, the paperback for $12.49, and also Kindle $5.99, $5.99. Now, if you wish to order from the event there, the only difference is if you order it straight from there, the books will come from me, and I would gladly sign your book. I will autograph your book and have it mailed to you. And you have a blessed day. I thank you all for your time. And again, I thank Holla and Genesis Beginning for inviting me. And God bless you.
All right, let's give her another hand, Miss Carmen Hodnett. We can get her book at her Facebook page, and they have copies over in the other room. Thank you again. There is a slight delay between the live broadcast and what you're seeing on the screen, so I'm going to give it a little chance to catch up. And so on the other side, when I bring up Maya, just pause a couple of seconds while we catch up on this side. We're trying to coordinate this technology, so we don't want to cut you off. So what I'm going to do as I bring Maya forward, I'm going to put up a banner, just a couple of seconds to let things catch up, and then we'll bring Maya. So Maya, hang on a second. Hang on 1 second. You'll see the banner, and then we'll bring you on so we can coordinate.
I think we're coordinated now. Hello, my name is Haya. I'm in Dallas, Texas, and Lancaster, Texas, depending on if you're in Texas or out of Texas. The Texans call it Lancaster. And my name is Arthur Mia Turner Whitley, and I am the author of Life According to the Busy Single Parent: Solutions, Success Stories to Bring Calm to Your Chaotic World. So before I talk a little bit about my book, I'll tell you a little bit about me. First of all, thank you to Parita and Genesis all in one, and also for Holla for this opportunity. I'm loving the work that you all do, and I am just honored to be here. And thank you also to our MC. Now, a little bit about me. I am an author. I am a speaker. I am also a radio talk show host. So yes, I have a radio show also, and it's all about wellness and goals. Those two things are very, very important to me. I am a mother, a wife, a grandmother, an aunt, a daughter, a sister, all of those things. So with my particular book, Life According to the Busy Single Parent, you all, if you know Parita, you know she's funny. I love that woman. I recently met, well, I say recently, but it's been a few years now. We were on a book project called The Mom and Me. So we were in this anthology. So what is an anthology? An anthology is a book where you have a group of authors that come together about one common theme. And whatever that particular theme is, that's what the authors write about. Well, years ago, I was in my first anthology, and it was called No Glory Without a Story. And in that anthology, I talked about my life coming out of a divorce, or right at the end. And it was not the best experience, but I know that in order to get the glory, we have to build the story, right? So that's what we do. And fast forward many years later, I decided, you know what, I want to do this. I want to give people an opportunity to tell their story, where they have a platform where they can be safe. So I create that environment in our private Facebook group for the anthologies that I have. And we just have a good time on the journey, because let me tell you something. If you have not written a book, everyone has a book inside of them. I truly believe that. I believe that everyone has a book inside them. You know why? Because we all have life experiences. And what I firmly believe is that our life experiences, what we go through, is not just for ourselves. It's not just for you to learn about you, but it's to help somebody else when you overcome. Hence the book, Life According to the Busy Single Parent. So when I decided that I wanted to do this, I wanted to do in the spirit of excellence. I believe in excellence. And if I'm going to do a quality product, then I want to make sure that I'm doing all the right things. So I reached out to my good friend, Kimberly LeBou of LeBou Publishing, and we have partnered together, and we have created some Amazon bestsellers. My first Amazon bestseller was When I Was a Child, Exposing and Overcoming Childhood Trauma. That was my very first anthology. And for that one, what was on my heart at that time was there are so many people that have gone through some things that wasn't good for them as children, and how it shows up in the various stages of trauma. And those authors, they rocked it. They rocked us all the way to becoming Amazon bestsellers. And I did my second book, Life According to the Busy Single Parent, and we became an Amazon bestseller. So I was really excited about this. So let me tell you this about this book. This book here has been such a huge blessing, and it will continue to be a huge blessing to all those single parents that are out there. What I want single parents to know is this book here is a tribute to you. This is a tribute to the busy single parents out there. Who is the busy single parent? Is that parent that's holding down a job. You may be going to college full time, and you have those children to take care of. And even when those children, they grow up, right? They become adults. So if you're not married, you'll always be that single parent. And guess what? It's so much joy in that. Yes, you're doing twice the work, but guess what? I see you. I hear you. I am you. I have been there, and I understand the journey, which is why I've created this particular platform and this particular book that's also available right there next door to you. So you can go get your copy at intermission for $15, or you can reach out to me. Parita said there's a way if you have questions. But one of the things that I love, I'm trying to show some of my authors that were with me on this particular book, is single parents are not just mothers. No, it's not just single moms. There are some single dads out there that are rocking it. And we have one that's in this book, and his story is absolutely amazing, as well as the other stories. We have stories about single parents that are dealing with children with autism, or single parents that had to deal with alcoholism, depression, being ill. Oh my goodness, the story. So this is another good thing about an anthology. You get 10 good stories, 10 good books, 10 good chapters for one price. So I encourage you to go out and purchase our book, Life According to the Busy Single Parents. To the busy single parents that are out there, I am the busy single parent advocate. Yes, if you can follow me on Facebook, where you can find me on Facebook. I have a Facebook page, Mia Speaks. I'm on Instagram, it's Mia Speaks 2020. You can find me on Twitter at Mia Speaks 2020. You can find me on LinkedIn as author Mia Turner Whitley, transformational speaker for the busy single parent. When I tell you we're rocking it and we have things to do, we have things to do. Also, if we sell out, or when we sell out in the building, you can still get a copy of my book. Mia at miaspeaks.com is my website, where you can email me on my, you can reach out to me on my website, or you can email me at mia@miaspeaks.com. My website is miaspeaks.com. All right. So I think I've covered all the angles. So y'all, I'm watching the time because Parita, she coached us. She said, I will pull you. So I'm looking at the time, making sure I'm making good use of my time and your time. Again, my name is visionary author Mia Turner, TURNER Whitley, WHITLEY. And I am currently working on my newest anthology project. So if you have a story about a parent or someone that raised you and they did an exciting job, they did a wonderful job, and you want to share that story, join us in Cheers to the Ones Who Raised Us. When I tell you the authors that are involved in this and the writers, so let's say you have never written a book before, an anthology is a great place to start, because you don't have to worry about a full book, and we have one of the best publishers out there. So your information is going to come together, and we have a support system over here on Mia Speaks Anthologies. So I can go on and on about the goodness and also about life according to the busy single parent. So again, thank you all for this opportunity. Mwah, to Parita, thank you. Outstanding job. And if you have any questions, I'll be here. So thank you. Back to the studio.
Wow. Man, Mia has some energy, boy. And I love hearing from other radio personalities. So right on, right on, right on. She said she's a parallelpreneur. I learn a new word every day. Thank you, Mia. Thank you very much. I'm enjoying all of the authors. You bring quite a bit of energy and insight and great information. So thank you guys for doing a great job. We're going to bring up our next author, Tina. She's a licensed counselor and executive coach, and she's written 2 books. Tina just went on out there. I ain't mad at you, Tina. So we're going to bring Tina forward and let her talk about it. And Tina, there will be a few, just give us a couple of seconds. I'll give you a thumbs up when the system catches up over here. So we do have a slight delay. So just hang on. I'm going to bring you onto the screen, and I'll give you the thumbs up when it's time to go.
Okay, I didn't get the banner or the thumbs up, so I am going to assume it's time to go. All right, I hope so. Good evening, North Carolina and HOLLA and Genesis. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Tina Swain. That's Tina, T-I-N-A, Swain, S-W-A-I-N. And yes, I am a licensed counselor and I am a leadership executive coach. My company is Swain Therapy and Counseling, and within that company, we provide mental health counseling, executive coaching, leadership coaching for businesses, and also business consulting. We are able to provide life coaching for individuals if that is needed. And I also have a company called Imani Publishing, in which I assist people who want to become authors, specifically writing books for their family. In regards to their family, I assist and provide that service as well. So the book that I'm going to be highlighting for you today is called Rebirth and Rejoice, The Beginner's Guide and a Testimony to Living a Christian Life. When this book came to mind, I had already had an idea to write a book for a while, and I was going to write it with a friend of mine, and she and I had talked about it back and forth, and time passed. And right when I was getting ready, like, okay, now it's time to actually do it, I heard God speak and say, I told you to write the book, not you and her. So, and she understood, and so I just persevered forward in writing this book. And the reason why I wanted to write it is because I wanted people to have something tangible to learn how to grow and walk in their Christian faith from a layperson. I'm not a pastor or minister or anything like that. I am just Tina. So within this book, I have several chapters that take you from just your initial commitment to becoming a Christian on through how that process will grow and develop for you. And also because I am a licensed counselor, everything that I do is therapeutic. So before I get into telling you some specifics as they pertain to the chapters in this book, let me tell you a little bit more about myself. I've told you my background as far as professional is concerned, but my personal background is that I am single. I don't have any kids, but I do have a niece and nephews and godchildren and things of that sort. So, and I do enjoy dancing. I like dancing a lot. I rarely find other people who like dancing like I do, but on occasion that may happen. I am originally from Chicago. I don't know if you're familiar in North Carolina about house music, but Chicago equals house music, and that's what I like to dance to. And now I am in Dallas, and I've been down here for a couple of years, and I just met a friend. She loves West Coast swing. She actually moved here from South Carolina, so so I've gone to a couple of West Coast swing classes with her. So I do need to learn how to do more partner dancing than just dancing solo, which is what house music is a lot. So didn't have a spouse to talk about, or kids to talk about, or a pet to talk about. So I thought I'd share with you what I like, and that is dance. So getting back to my book, Rebirth and Rejoice, the beginner's guide and a testimony to living a Christian life. And also, in speaking about dance, a lot of times when people want to have develop their Christian walk or what have you, they are told what not to do a lot because that's what's been their upbringing. And dance would have been one of those things. You know, you shouldn't dance, you shouldn't wear makeup, you shouldn't wear earrings, things of that nature. And that's fine. I'm not coming against any specific religion. Please let me be clear. But what I encourage and what my book encourages is for people to have their own relationship with God, and that is what our Father wants us to do. So within my book, like I said, there are journal pages so that you can follow how far you've come and how far you've grown in your Christian walk. And some of the chapters would be the commitment. So that's when you first commit your life to Christ, bumping in the walls, how awkward it is. When I first started, now I had been a Christian since being a child. My grandfather actually baptized me, but when you want to do it in your specific way, not in mama's way, not in grandmama's way, not in the way that you were taught, but in the way that so you can have that one-on-one relationship with God. I was bumping in the walls. It was just awkward. It was like, okay, what am I doing here? One chapter is called Where Are All My Friends? Because friends started leaving. You know, you when people see you grow and develop in certain ways that might not mesh with them, they leave and you gotta let them go. But one chapter I want to share with you specifically is called I Could Have Been Killed. And that one was very awesome and struck me incredibly strong when it happened because I awoke one morning with the memory of how I could have been killed like about 10 times. And that was so awesome to me because and I'm not talking about I'm not living a crazy lifestyle that invites violence or anything like that, but just living your day-to-day life. And God showed me, revealed to me the number of times that I could have been killed and how he had been with me, guiding me, protecting me all along. And even after he revealed that to me, there were even more times that he brought back to the forefront of my memory to let me know how he had been with me all along. So that was incredibly awesome. And so again, my book, it talks to people in regards to how you can develop your own relationship with God and utilize, again, the journal pages in order for you to do so. If you would like to order my book is available on Amazon. Again, my name is spelled Tina, Tina, Swain, Swain. You can either order it on Amazon or you can order it directly from me at tinaswain.com. And yes, if you do order it from me, I will include a lovely bookmark for you, and I will sign it for you as well. Because I really appreciate the opportunity of being here. I really appreciate that Parita invited me to be a part of this, and I think that this is awesome what HOLLA has been putting on for authors and even for the children with the 5K and what have you. So I just wanted to share that. And as the gentleman mentioned, I have written another book, and that one is called How to Be Happy and Successfully Single. So with that, and you can find that on my website as well, I realized that a lot of people find it challenging to do this unmarried walk, and so I wanted to be able to help people out in that regard, to be able to just maneuver this dating life. It can be enjoyable, sometimes it can be a headache. So I did write a book pertaining to that, and then I have also written a book that pertains to, like I said, mentioned earlier, helping people to write a book for their families. I did so for my family a few years ago, and it was just awesome. So many people, so many cousins didn't realize some of our family history, and that it just made me incredibly proud to be able to write such a book for my family and to be able to provide such a legacy to go down through the generations. So I actually got a little put off by the I didn't get a banner before my video popped up, so I didn't pay attention to the time. I am not certain if I am at my 10 minutes or not. I am just not certain. So forgive me. But again, if you want to find me, my website is tinaswain.com. And that's also you can also find me on Instagram and Facebook at Tina Swain Speaks. Tina Swain Speaks. So thank you so much again. I wish I had paid attention to the time. I enjoyed being here. I'm going to smile and look pretty until the gentleman comes back. I hope there's no lipstick on my teeth.
All right. Thank you, Tina. Let's give her another hand. Yeah, we do have that delay, so bear with us. But I mean, the authors are great, amazing authors we have here this evening. You can find Tina on social media, and she has her information in the program guide. So hang on to this guide, it's very valuable. You'll have all the contact information for these amazing hosts, these amazing authors. Our next author is Deborah Burris. She's also a radio host. Wow, man, the radio hosts are in the house today. Hey, I did a show on my marketing pulpit show this past week, and I was talking about how some ways that you can promote your books, and if you have that charisma, if you have that je ne sais quoi, you might think about doing a podcast or a radio show under the name of your book. And many authors have done that. It had quite a bit of success, and I think that's, I'm going to say, Deborah and some of the others, they found that to be very lucrative. So that's just a little tip you might think about. Podcasts now are pretty easy to start, and just a way to keep your name in front of people and to push your book. But what you don't want to do, though, is do the hard sell, give them some content, something they can like and appreciate, and then if they want your book, then they'll buy it. So just a little marketing tip that you'll get on the Marketing Pulpit Show that's actually bringing you this this broadcast today. We're going to bring Ms. Burris on. She has a book called Desires of the Heart. So Deborah, I'm going to put you on and give me a second. I'll give you the thumbs up when we are caught up on this side.
Okay, good evening. I don't see a thumbs up. I don't see a thumbs up, and that's not my name that's showing up. My name is Deborah V. Barris. Okay. There's my thumbs up. Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right. Good evening, everybody. That's not my name. I'm not Tina. Okay. My name is Deborah V. Barris, and I am the author of Desires of the Heart. That's Deborah V. Burris, Burrus, Desires of the Heart. And the subtitle is Becoming All That God Intended. So, who am I? I am a wife, mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, have sisters and brothers, big family. I'm also a pastor, a senior pastor. I'm an author, life coach. And as the MC just mentioned, yes, I have a radio broadcast entitled Heart Matters, because my mantra is Your Heart Matters. And you can watch that show weekly on my Facebook page, Deborah Burris, The Heart Matters Show. And we really, really love it. Okay. So, how did this come about? Desires of the heart, becoming all that God intended. How many people desire things in life? We all have desires. But what I found was I was desiring materialistic things. You know, a lot of times we equate success with stuff. And so we go on this journey to try to acquire all of this stuff. But we find once we get all of this stuff, if we're not careful, we'll still feel a void within us. And so this project came about as I began to look at my own life and look at all of the things that I was acquiring, but there was still something missing. There was still something that wasn't quite right. My sister had prophesied to me that I would write this book. She even gave me the title. And of course, I picked it up, put it down, picked it up, put it down. But when I really began to seek the Lord and allow him to show me how to put this together, I was really excited. And I tell you, I am really enjoying. There's so much nuggets in it. There are two things that I want you to think about. I want you to think about your own desires and your work to achieve those desires and all of the time and efforts you've put in for desire. You know, it's not a great big word, but it carries a lot of weight. But what I discovered was there were some things in my heart that needed some correction. In the book, I talk about the heart of God. And then I talk about the heart of man and how our heart should line up with God's heart. And I talk about the fact that, you know, our heart was pure prior to Adam's mess up, and it became damaged. And I teach in the book about the process of circumcision to get your heart repaired. But we don't stay in the lonely places. We don't play in the sad places, because then I take you on a journey to help you to discover what's inside of you. God wants us to become all that we can so that we can be a help to other people. I thank Parita, I thank Genesis, I thank HOLLA, I thank the MC and all of you there for affording me this opportunity to share a little about my book. This is not my first project. Actually, it's my third. My first book was When Women Weep. The second one was part of an anthology entitled Let the Daughters Arise, where we were put together with other authors. But this book is my baby. This one I am so excited about because it gives so many great points to ponder, things to think about on your journey, so that at the end, I talk about how desire meets destiny, how God brings it all together, and so that you can become all that God intends for you to be. You can be that lawyer, you can be that social worker, you can be that therapist, you can be that teacher, you can be that entrepreneur, whatever it is that God has placed on the inside of you. Once he does some correcting to our hearts, it becomes easy for us to do that. How can you get a copy? You can get this book from deborahburris.com, or you can get it on Amazon. You can also get it on Amazon. So I encourage everyone to take a peek, take a chance, get this book into your library. You're going to be like, oh, this is good. Every time I read it, I go back and say, did I write that? Me and the Holy Spirit. But thank you for this opportunity. I'm missing the party. I'm here in Baltimore, Maryland, but I thank you all for everything. This has just been awesome. I love you, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye-bye.
Let's give Deborah another hand. And Deborah, sorry for butchering your name. Our parents give us these names. The least we can do is get them right? So thank you again for a great presentation. Some great words you shared with us this afternoon. And we really appreciate your coming forward today. We're going to bring up our next author, and after this next author comes up, we're going to actually have a brief intermission. So we have a few snacks on the other side. But I want you to get that intermission, get that snack, and come back over here. And then we have another lineup of exciting authors. We want to hang around and make sure we give them their due because they're really hot, exciting. I don't want to miss a single one, so I hope you feel the same way. We're going to bring the next person, Miss Cornita Cole. She's actually an author of a children's book, and she has a very interesting story. She went to Norfolk State University. I actually spent some time at Norfolk State myself, lived down in Virginia Beach. It's almost like I'm having a reunion today. So we're going to bring Cornita forward. Let me get her name up here. And Cornita, you are on. Let's give her a hand as she comes forward. Thank you. Go ahead.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, HOLLA, for having me. I truly appreciate it. Also, Parita, I noticed that I'm between intermissions, so I'll be very kind to you guys to get some wine and something to eat. So my book is titled A New Kidney for Mom. This is the first book under the children's series, Medical Tales for Small People. So a little bit about myself. I'm 20 years in commercial real estate. I'm also into film and playwrights as a production manager, producer, but I'm an author now because of trauma through triumph, like most of us when we are telling a good story. So 2021, my daughter was diagnosed with kidney disease due to hypertension because of her pregnancy, and she needed a kidney. So her mom, a project manager in the real life, became a project manager for my daughter and tried to figure it out relatively quickly. And we signed up so I can donate a kidney. So I'm also a kidney donor. Thank you. Thank you. Just super impressed about and how my daughter, her now husband, just really conquered the entire trauma. They had a 2-year-old daughter at the time. They taught her amazing things to help her understand why her mom couldn't do anything. Dad pretty much took over majority of the things in the household, and just how they was able to the progress of everything. They had her along. So A New Kidney for Mom basically talks about that with the young kid as Penelope and her not really understanding what's going on with mom, but understanding that something is wrong. So that's kind of how I gravitated to write the story because I was just truly impressed. And then the following year after my daughter got sick, my partner got diagnosed with colon cancer. So with that, he passed away, but that kind of launched and inspired me to do Medical Tales for Small People, because at this point, I'm like, if I can't handle it, how are kids going to handle this? Right. So that's kind of how Medical Tales for Small People grew out of it. So Medical Tales for Small People overall is about the short stories to support our children in conversations about medical issues that are happening in the home. How do they support you guys as parents, grandparents, holding your hands as well, and also learning about the parts of the body. So if I can, I would love to read my foreword, which is by Dr. Sharita Brookins. She's actually in Atlanta, Georgia. So this is a foreword from her, and I was truly appreciative that she did this for me. Medical Tales has been instrumental in the learning of science by children and adults. For adults, we may change a few key identifiers for privacy reasons, but never spare the details. While for children, Medical Tales has an abundance of imagination and creativity infused to make a complex topic easily digestible. Sorry about that. As a nephrologist and kidney community advocate, I often speak to children about healthy kidneys. But A New Kidney for Mom is a library must-have about sharing sick kidneys. As a fellow transplant and advocate and living donor, Cornita Cole keeps your attention in this engaging story time, worthy tale about a doll, her magical kidney beans, and kidney transportation. Also, the message about living donor paired exchange or giving to others because someone gave to you is timely and necessary as adults like Penelope's mom are more added to the kidney transplant waiting list every 14 minutes. Kidney transplantation starts with kindness. It is never too early to teach kids about sharing and kidney transplantation. So as they become adults, they are aware of this gift of life. The story is from the viewpoint of Penelope, and it will be a gift that keeps giving and the reader's generosity and bravery. So that is from my forward. And I am a 4-way kidney donor, which means that I technically wasn't a match for my daughter, but we signed up for an exchange program. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but I wound up giving my kidney to someone in Massachusetts, and she got her kidney from Minnesota. So this is the first. Next book on colon cancer, of course, dedicated to my partner, is coming up in next month, June. And then we have the baby bump. It goes on. It goes on to autism. It goes on. It's forever going on for medical tales of small people. Partnering with doctors, so there will be a medical professional in every book. So I will have each book blessed and have these conversations with the kids and adults. So we are online at medicaltalesforsmallpeople.com. I'm also on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, and Walmart. So thank you very much. I appreciate your support. And if you have any questions, you can let me know. Thank you. Yes. I know why Parita is saying that. So also during this journey, I was working, I think I mentioned about the project. So another reason why I'm in town in Charlotte, so with HOLLA inviting me as an author, I'm also a partner with the upcoming stage play that's happening on September the 2nd in Charlotte at the Knights Theater. So this is my partner. She's the playwright and a producer of the play. So this is why we're local to you guys as well. So we have flyers at our table for that as well. Just, we want to be able to connect with the community and share that project as well. So thank you very much. When is that? That is happening September the 2nd. So during Labor Day weekend. Yes. Thank you, Parita.
Got celebrities up in here. And Cornita, thank you again for that selfless act of being a kidney donor. Your selfless act and generosity is so much appreciated. We just need more people in the world like you. But the entire body of authors today, each one of these individual stories and tales, and it's really amazing. And thank you again. Let's give her another hand, please. All right. I guess this is break time, right? All right. Well, what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick, how long is the break? You want to?
Yeah.
Please.
Okay, thank everybody for being so patient. We're going to come back with some really great authors for the rest of the evening with authors. Thank you, Cornita. Cornita will be leaving during intermission so they can go work on the play project. So thank you for making that travel, but I would like to ask you to come up for a moment. This is just a certificate of participation proudly presented to Cornita Cole for dedicating her time and effort at the HOLLA Evening with the Authors, Saturday, May 20th, 2023. Thank you. Yeah. So keep writing.
Thank you again. Wow. We have a great lineup of authors after the break. We're going to start off with Cheryl Lewis. We're going to Sandy. We're going to Tanya. We're going to John, Irene, Tawana, Mary, Tyra, Monique, and that's going to be it. So that you don't miss any of them. So let's take a break, and we'll be back after the break, okay? Take about 30 minutes, give or take. Food is great. The food is great. Food is great. I've been told that there's food and it's on the other side. Just go over there and grab you a nice plate. We have heavy hors d'oeuvres, and I understand it's quite delicious. And to everybody who's tuning in virtually, we're going to have this also available online after the event sometime in June, I understand. So you can go back and share it with your network, family and friends. So we're on break right now. This event is brought to you by HOLLA. We have some great sponsors. And earlier today we had the 5K race. We had a very good turnout. I want to mention some of the sponsors of the event today. Gatewood Insurance and Real Estate. Group sponsors are, they call it the trunk sponsor, that's Gatewood Real Estate. Malade, Samuel Cash, Quizone Bowser, Rescue Me Virtually, and PD Electric. Some of our seed sponsors are Dr. William Strayhorn, Judy's Tax Service, Michael McLeod, Robert and Iva Stowe, the Alpha Sorority, Kiwi, Alpha Phi Chi Omega, Marilyn Bennett, Reverend Renee Bethea, Monique Johnson, Deborah Barris Ministries, Cheryl Lewis, Tara Thompson, Kawana Strait, Carmen Hodneck, The Money Publishing, and Hollis Cam. Those are our seed sponsors. We also have donations in the amount of $25 to $100. Network for Good, Bernice Bennett, Anson Women's League, Anson's Partnership for Children, Badcock, John and June Witherspoon. We have a great show going on here today. Quite an event. Thank you everybody who's tuning in virtually. You hear the excitement in the background. We're on break, but we'll be back with a good lineup of authors. I know I will be here in hardly wait. And if you're out in the Marvin area this evening, tuning in virtually, you want to stop by, say hello to the authors, we welcome you. This broadcast is produced by the Marketing Pulpit radio show. We broadcast every Friday at 10:30 a.m. on Radio 1 95.9 in the DC area. You can go to marketingpulpit.com and listen to some of the past shows. We are a business development show. Our mission is to build strong businesses in the community and put our people to work. Also, if you have a business, you want to get into our business directory. We have a business directory that's very heavy on authors. So if you're an author and you're trying to find a way to promote your business, go to mpi.bz or go to marketingpulpit.com and click on the business directory. So we're trying to promote these authors everywhere we can. All right, I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to run, so hang on a second. Don't go anywhere. I had somebody ask me the other day, said, Gatewood, I want to hire you to do my branding for me. Where do I get started? I said, you have already started, I hope. How are you treating your customers? How are you treating your staff? Are you making a difference in society? What kind of service are you putting out here? You're already branding whether you know it or not. The key is it the type of branding you want? You are messaging in every decision you make in your company. That logo that people claim to be the brand is just the iconic representation of the brand that you've already developed. Does the brand that you have already started represent where you want to be?
nature abhors a vacuum. And of course, abhor just simply means hates. It's an expression, and it pretty much says that vacuums or voids run counter to nature, and that every space should be filled by something. If you don't fill the vacuums in your life, by default, they will fill themselves, or somebody else will come along and fill it for you. Or there may be some type of consequence for not filling those vacuums. If you're not doing something constructive, if you're not filling that mind with something positive, if you're just sitting around just letting other people take control of that mind, then that's not going to have a good outcome.
I know that we can do it if we all in the hand.
If you have a jacked up idea that's never going to get off the ground, Robert Gatewood is going to tell you. All right, don't get mad at me now. I'm telling you, I'm saving you some heartache down the road. Let me tell you something else I'm saving. I'm saving the folks that you might do damage to if you get out here, start a business, and not taking it seriously, and people are transferring their accounts over to you. They're giving you their personal information, their financial information. They're trusting you because you told them you were in business and they took you at your word. Don't betray that trust. So if you're going to go into business, let's go into it the right way. If you're not sure, right here, Marketing Pulpit Show, I'm going to tell you how to do it. You will not get rich overnight. There's some things that can get you some fame and fortune in a short period of time, but it's not very likely. But even these overnight sensations, sometimes it's about 30 years in the making, but it was overnight to you because you just found out about it. You can go out here tomorrow, you can become an NBA star, you can go out here and make a rap song, you can hit the lottery. All of these things are possible and doable, but are they likely? Not so much. So you have to decide whether you're going to spend your time, your energy, your resources chasing that wing and a prayer, or do you spend this time and do it the old-fashioned way? Can you get successful in a short period of time? Yes. You do have to take some risk. female workers report higher stress. And that's a non-story. I mean, we've always known that. But what are companies going to do about it? Much of the burden of this pandemic has been borne by females. They're the primary caretakers in most cases. They were already underpaid. They were on the front line in many of these jobs. So naturally, we're seeing 74% of women say they're somewhat stressed for work-related reasons compared to just 61% of men. We've got to do better, ladies and gentlemen. If we know that women are carrying the burden, they should be paid more, they should be given more flexible work hours, and a few other benefits to level this problem out. So we know the problem. Now, what are we going to do about it as a society? When you have a conflict going on, if you want to shut that person up, I'm telling you, sit there and listen. Let them talk themselves out. And somehow, I've said this many times, some of the greatest problems in the world have been solved through listening. Listening also does this. It shows respect. When you sit there and listen to a person and sit there and give them the time and the due, it is a sign of respect. It lets them know that their thoughts and feelings are important. If you're listening, but if you're sitting there yapping when they're trying to talk to you, that can actually come across as very disrespectful, okay? Nature abhors a vacuum. And of course, abhors just simply means hates. It's an expression, and it pretty much says that vacuums or voids run counter to nature, and that every space should be filled by something. If you don't fill the vacuums in your life, by default, they will fill themselves, or somebody else will come along and fill it for you. Or there may be some type of consequence for not filling those vacuums. If you're not doing something constructive, if you're not filling that mind with something positive, if you're just sitting around just letting other people take control of that mind, then that's not going to have a good outcome. This coming Sunday, we'll be celebrating Mother's Day. So I want to do a shout out and celebrate all of the mothers out there. And I understand it's not an easy task. So to all the mothers, I really appreciate you. And we want to dedicate this show to you because it's not, we know, whether you're a mother or if you're by choice or by circumstance, you are a woman and you were not able to have children, but you have also stepped in and helped raise some of these children out here. Sometimes you go by these various names of Nana and Auntie and Godmother. And Play Mom, and all the different nomenclatures, whatever. We appreciate you. And just know that your work has not gone unnoticed. So thank you to all of the mothers out there. Sometimes I know you don't feel the love, but just know the love is there.
Wake up everybody, no more sleeping in bed. No more backwards thinking, time for thinking ahead. The world has changed so very much, what it used to be. There's so much hatred, war and poverty. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We are born to God anyway. We work for everyone who's coming on there. The world is in their hands. Let them be the children, be down the very best they can. The world won't get no better. Wake up all the doctors, make the old people well. Everyone who suffer, make you get down to hell. We're going up, the world is in their hands. When we think that too, you get to the better shape instead. So wake up all the builders, try to build a land. I know that we can do it, we'll be all in the hand. All the things really in our mind. I know that it will work out, we do it every time. The world won't get no better. If you're gonna say, la 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 la. The world won't get no better. You better say, wake up. You better wake up. Wake up. Yeah. Everybody. You better wake up all the teachers. Wake up. Wake up. Everybody. You better wake up all the teachers. You better wake up. Wake up. Get your community. You better wake up. All the people. Wake up. All the people.
All right, we're going to be getting started again very soon. I want to thank everybody for your patience and hope you're enjoying these delicious, what they call them, heavy hors d'oeuvres. Delicious is more the operative word. To all of our listeners online, thank you for hanging in there. Thank you, Carmen, Chiquita, all you guys for hanging in there. Appreciate you. I see we got quite a good little listening, viewing audience out here. This show is brought to you by the Marketing Pulpit. We're in the business development. We've been helping companies grow, build their businesses, brand, social media, marketing, and so forth. And we've been glad to partner with HOLLA and Miss Frida Adams to put this show together. HOLLA is, of course, the reason we're here. Leon and his team and the collaborators who brought this program together, they are deserving of our praise, our thanks, and for everything that they stand for as an organization. Leon often tells the story of the Maasai tribe in Africa. They have their regular meetings and they always ask, what about the children? I really like that. If we are to survive as a village, as a community, it's not about party affiliation or race. It's about the children. That's one thing that we should all be able to collaborate around, the future of our children. That's why I make the trip from Washington, D.C. all the way down to the HOLLA Center. Leon can always call me. I don't have to think about it. When I think about the children, I'm in the car and my car is pointing in this direction. So I'm honored to be here. Thank you, Leon. And thank you to all of the donors and sponsors. Gatewood Real Estate and Insurance, Laleid Samuel Cash, Quazon Bowser, Rescue Me Virtually, PD Electric, and all of the seed sponsors, William Strayhorn, Judy's Tax Service, Michael McLeod, Robert and Ivor Stowe, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority, Alpha Phi Chi Omega, Marilyn Bennett, Reverend Renee Bethay, Monique Johnson, Deborah Burris Ministries, Cheryl Lewis, Tara Thompson, Tawana Strait, Carmen Hodnett, Imani Publishing, and Hollis Cam. Thank you for supporting this event this evening. We appreciate the donations and your love. We're going to start back up here in a second. Let the people on the other side know that we're about to recommence. I really appreciate everybody sticking around. I knew it wouldn't be hard because this is an exciting, interesting event. I'm enjoying it. Got some great authors here today. Have been absolutely phenomenal. I want to give another quick hand to the authors who've gone before. Karita Adams, Kay Ratliff, Shakita Brammer, Hollis Cam, Carmen Hodnett, Mia Turner Whitley, Tina Swain, Deborah Burris, and Cornita Cole. You guys have been great, really. Good. What we're going to do is start off again is give one more shout out to the people on the other side. If you're anybody over there that's ready to come back and join us, give a few more seconds. We're going to start up with Ms. Cheryl Lewis. She is a mother, wife, mentor, coach, and she likes to share with her readers what she calls wisdom nuggets. And perhaps she'll share some of those wisdom nuggets with us today as we ask her to come forward on this grand occasion at HOLLA today, Evening with the Authors. So Ms. Cheryl Lewis, please come forward and join us on the stage. Let's give her a hand as she comes forward.
Thank you and good evening. Thank you to HOLLA and to Parita. I have a question to ask you. If your walls could talk, what would they be saying about you, your home, and what is going on in your home? My name is Cheryl Lewis. That's Cheryl with a S, Sheryl. And I'm the author of From the Kitchen Table. I am also, as he said, I'm a wife of over 52 years to a remarkable husband. I'm a mom with 3 adult sons, and I have 8 grandchildren. Wow. I grew up in Hampton, Virginia, and I always thought that I would just stay there for the rest of my life. While in Hampton, I come from a 2-parent home, and we sat at the kitchen table. My mom, my dad, I'm one of 6 children, and that's where we discussed whatever was going on in the world, our emotions. That's where I got my wisdom nuggets from my parents. So during the pandemic, I participated with Ayanna Van Zandt on a daily, she called it Beyond the Virus. And every day we would go online and she would give us inspirational talks and readings. And one day she asked the question, when you come out of the pandemic, will you be the same person that you were when you came into that pandemic? And when I stopped and I thought about it, it made me think of my grandmother, who was born in 1900. And in 1918, there was a pandemic and a virus. And I thought, had she been here, I would be able to pull from her and just ask, what are some of the things that you had to adjust to, just to guide me through what we were going through? And so when I thought about my grandmother, I then thought about myself and my responsibility to generations coming behind me. And that is how my book came to pass. So this book, I talk about my mom, my dad, my siblings, the trials and tribulations that we had growing up, but it was always together. So I challenge all of you, because I now see that there's very little contact with family now. They're looking at TV, they're on their phones, but they're not sitting at the kitchen table like I was brought up, where you could disclose what is going on with you. So in my book, I do talk about wisdom nuggets, and I'm not sharing them right now. You have to come to my table, and I'll be happy to share some of the wisdom nuggets that I have that I think will help you. All of us have a story. All of us have something to say. Think about, what is it that you would like to give to that next generation, and then the next and the next. My immediate grandchildren, they know about me. My kids, they know about me. But what about further generations out? So I welcome all of you to my booth, and there'll be like a little raffle, and you will get From the Kitchen Table Dream Big journal if your number is selected. So thank you again for your attention.
She said she's not giving up her wisdom free. I ain't mad at you. Go to her table. She's already told you. Thank you a lot, Cheryl. Great presentation. Next guest, I was reading her bio, very short but very insightful. She says she was born, she's been in North Carolina for the past
40 years, but she's still considered a Yankee. I like that. She has a novel about Marvin. People don't know about Marvin. They see the HOLLA Center. Sometimes that's the only thing they know about Marvin. But she's written a book about it, so apparently there's more to it. So I'm going to ask Sandy to come forward. Let's give her a hand as she comes forward, ladies and gentlemen.
Right here, right? Is there a spot? Yeah, there's a spot to stand. Okay.
All right, you good, you good.
All right, that's good. Okay, thank you. Well, thank you, HOLLA, for hosting this, and Parita for organizing it, and all the people with all their inspirational Christian stories that we've heard tonight. I think I am the wild card here. I think I'm the only one that's written a novel, fiction, with my book Morven, and it's not about that. Anyway, as he said, I was born in New York State and raised in Pennsylvania, and came to North Carolina about 40 years ago. We came down, my husband, 3 rowdy boys, dog, a cat, and a bird. Settled in Wadesboro, raising my kids there. Of course, they're grown and gone now, and I've got 3 grandchildren, 2 fine young men, and a lovely young granddaughter. I always wanted to write, but I ended up working for a newspaper. So what I wrote mainly was news articles and feature stories and a weekly column and editorials. So when I quit that, I said, I'm going to write fiction now. So I started out, wrote women's fiction. I like to read anything, so I write what I like to read. And after I finished, I think I did 4 books in women's fiction. I did what they call a steampunky, paranormal, alternate history series that was a lot of fun to write. And after that, I thought, well, I like historical. Maybe I'll try a historical. Well, that's different, let me tell you, because you have to research historicals. You can't make them up. So I had to find out first, what part of Anson County do I want to write about? And I thought, well, I'm always interested in the story of Sneedsboro. You know, that was a little town a few miles from here. It's not there anymore. Nothing left of it. But back in the late 1700s and early 1800s, this was a thriving port city with boats going up and down the PD River, from the Yadkin River Basin to Georgetown. Mainly it was sugar coming upriver and whiskey going back downriver. But a lot of good old Anson County cotton, finest cotton ever grown, I found out, in North Carolina or anywhere, was grown right here in Anson County. So I got my facts together, decided where I want the story to take place, figured out what people wore, what they ate, how they cooked, what they did for a living. Had this all ready, and I said, I have to have a character. So I picked out a young girl. Now this girl's name is Morven. It has nothing to do with Morven. I'm sorry, all you, but it's not about Morven. I think Morven is mentioned in here, but Sneedsboro came first. And that's the town I set my character in. Morven is orphaned at an early age. She's 16. And at that time, she's had a proposal of marriage. And her preacher and the preacher's wife say, well, Morven, you ought to just get married because that's all women can do, right? You can't get a career. You can't get a job. So marry the guy. And she says, no. What? You're not going to get married? What are you going to do? Well, I'm not going to tell you what she ends up doing. It's legitimate, you know, but she has a good reason for not wanting to get married. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but if you read the book, you'll find out that she thinks she has a good reason. But when you say never, you know what happens? Never say never, because you're going to do it. So she meets a very good-looking, charming Englishman, and they become friends, but he wants a little bit more. So there's her second proposal. And again, she says, no, I'm not getting married. Well, this makes the young man very angry. He leaves, threatens to come back, and we'll settle this when I get back, right?
Well, what happens is he has to go to England on business, and while he's there, War of 1812 breaks out. And they're separated by a war and an ocean. So Morven is thinking, Luke said he'd come back. If he comes back, when he comes back, will I accept the proposal a second time? Or maybe he won't even want to propose again. Well, that's the basis of the story. Morven was named from her mother's home place in Scotland, Morven, Scotland, not North Carolina. My books are on Amazon and Nook. They're wherever ebooks are published. They're both in print, ebook, and Morven and Riverband, the companion book, are in Audible. And I could say, go to Amazon and type in BRUNEY, and that's a lot of work. So if you go to my website, and that is sandrazbruney.com, BRUNEY, I have all the books on there, a short description of every book, excerpt that you can read, and buy links. So if you just tap on the buy link, it'll take you right to the page. You won't have to search anywhere. It's right there. And I can't think of anything else. So thank you.
I think, Cheryl, you started something. Y'all not getting more information tonight. Y'all got about a book. Thank you, Sandy. And pardon me for thinking the name was about the city of Marvin. But it is a striking coincidence when you say, yeah, we in Marvin, the book's about Marvin. You gotta read. Reading is fundamental, they say. All right, let me readjust this camera here. I am not Sandy. All right, let's see who we got here coming up. We have Tanya DeBose Smith. She has a Bachelor of Arts degree from Johnson C. Smith. Wow. Hey. HBCU in the house. Let me get your name up there, Tanya. Hold on a second. Hold on there. Let me get your name up here on the screen. Now, she has an interesting book. I love the title, Down for the Count. I'm not going to try to describe it because that's what she's going to do. So let's give her a hand as she comes forward. Tanya DeBose Smith.
So I need my thumbs up too.
You got your you straight up.
Okay. Okay.
All right, let's go with it.
So again, her name is Tanya DeBose Smith. Okay. I grew up not far from here. I'm actually a resident of Montgomery County. I grew up in Mount Gilead. My mother retired from this area, so I have a place in my heart for Anson County. I am an angel mom, and what most people don't realize about that is a mother who has given birth to a child that is no longer here because God called that child home. My book is called Down for the Count, and it's an anthology. My chapter is called Giving Birth to My Purpose. In giving birth to my purpose, I gave birth physically to my child, but spiritually to my purpose. And my purpose is to help other children as well as families and women. I chose to share this part of my journey because I needed a place to allow my voice to amplify and to deal with the grief that I was holding within inside. It's a place within this story that I know other ladies who have gone through my journey can resonate with a bunch of the different feelings that I had, from anger and resentment, aloneness, loneliness, confusion, just that whole tidal wave of the grief cycle. So many things came up for me today. I took the time to go back and reread what it was that I went through and remembering where I was in that space. And if I could have gone back to that moment in time, this version of me would have hugged that version of me and told her that everything would get better. My book is $15 and it can be purchased directly through me, or you can look within the booklet that we have, and all of my contact information is in there. What I have coming up next is something that is truly going to be a labor of love. I am in the process of creating an actual nonprofit that has a place for children, mothers, and fathers who have experienced exactly what it is that I've experienced, so that they have a place to know that they are not alone, they have a voice, and they will receive the services that I needed and I did not get. So I hope that you will come visit me at our table. I'd love to describe further what's in here and to collect some email accounts so that we can stay connected, because I'm gonna need some help and I'm not above asking. Again, my name is Tanya, and I thank you for your time and allowing me to share my story.
Tanya, my heart goes out to you and your amazing journey. And I think we're all emboldened by your remarkable strength. And I encourage everybody to support. I will do my part. I don't do this for everybody, but I want to buy 10 copies of your book. And it's just that I want to support you in any way I can. And I know by doing that, I will hand them out to people that need that kind of strength that you have exhibited today. So let's give her another hand. All right, folks, I am just moved by the diversity of thought we have here today. We have people from all over the country, people that were born here, people that were moved out, left, came back. And you say, why would they come back, right? That's not funny. We know why they come back. This area is rich with history and opportunities. I'm back. I come back often, and it's a no-brainer to me. John Merrick, he's an award-winning essayist and storyteller, grew up on the shores of Lake Erie. And he has a book called Getting Back into the Garden. Let's give John a hand as he comes forward.
Thank you, everyone. At times, a very moving story, very moving story. My name is John B. Merrick. That's John, B like in boy, Merrick. Let me tell you where that B comes from. My wife, my beautiful wife, Janet, who's here with me this evening give Janet a little round of applause. Whenever I go to do something, especially something in the garage that involves tools, Janet always says, "Be careful." And I say, "Honey, my middle name is Careful." Well, it isn't actually. My middle name is actually Bernard, but I'm careful not to let people know that. So that is where the B in the John B. Merrick comes from. So the book that I'm spotlighting tonight is called Getting Back to the Garden. It is my 7th book, and it was published this past January. And it's a little bit of a labor of love. It's part autobiography, it's part testimony, and it's part how-to. And that's a little bit of an unusual combination, but let me tell you how I came to it. I wanted to write a book that talked a little bit about how my life's journey has gone in terms of gardening. I started out at a very, very young age helping my father in the garden. I had my own little plot. And so when I graduated from college, I thought, well, I'll just carry that on. I'll have my own little garden. And my wife and I bought some property out in the country, and we tried to start a little garden and have a little homestead out there. And that did not go well. That's chapters 2 and 3. And I got turned off to the whole aspect of trying to grow things, trying to make things work. I didn't do anything other than we had a condo, and we had a little strawberry jar, and every spring we'd go and we'd buy begonias and put it in the strawberry jar, and that was our gardening for the year. Did that until we moved down here, and then through a series of unusual circumstances that the book makes the case as being intervention, I came back to the garden. I came back to gardening and found a purpose in that again, something I had been raised to do, completely abandoned, and went back to. And I realized as I was writing about that in reality, that's a really, really good metaphor for a lot of people's faith journeys as well. So the book talks a little bit about that as well. So again, my name is John B. Merrick. You can follow me on Twitter, on LinkedIn, or on Facebook, John B. Merrick. Or I also have a webpage. It's johnbmerrick.com, and the book is sold on Amazon. The book sells on Amazon for $3.60. Now you're saying, why is that book so cheap? $3.60 is basically cost for what it costs to publish this. I think that the content of this book is so important, and the message in it is so important, that I am selling the book at cost. I'm actually beating that by 60 cents back at my table, charging $3 for a copy of the book. So if you want to stop by, have a spare $3, I'd love to talk to you a little bit about the book and a little bit about what we're doing with the garden that I'm now managing. It's a faith-based community garden for my church, New Beginnings Moravian, and love to talk to you a little bit about that. So thank you very much. I appreciate this. Thanks to HOLLA. Thanks to everybody who put this together, Parita, and everyone else. Thank you.
I like that, John. 3, selling it for cost. Going back to my message I had this past week at my radio show, and it's been one of those things of mine. Is some things in life are so important that the fact you can't afford it is not a good enough reason not to get it. So John apparently has latched onto that philosophy as well. He has a message. He thinks people should get it. He doesn't want price to be an obstacle. I applaud John. Let's give him another hand. Irene Haley Harrington, she's homegrown, and sound like we're talking about some apple or something, right? She's not an apple, she's a person. One thing I liked about her bio, she says she likes to tell the stories of the elders. And that is so important nowadays, more so than ever before. We should listen to our elders, and the fact we have somebody who's put that in print is a reason to applaud Miss Irene
Haley Harrington. Let's give her a hand as she comes forward, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, I see myself. Good evening, everyone. I have truly had a wonderful time this evening, meeting all my Zoom buddies that we will see on Zoom. I would like to thank the program committee for inviting me. And I would like to talk about a book that I have. It's my sixth book. And to start off, I want everyone in here, just close your eyes. Just close it tight, or you can't see anything. And if I could ask one of you to stand up and go to your car with your eyes closed, could you do it? You don't think you could? Okay, you can open your eyes. This book is about a 3-year-old child who was blind when she was 3 years old. And she was a cousin of mine. We grew up together. I never knew what caused her blindness as a child, because when you're children, you don't see disabilities like grown-ups do. And we grew up in the same community where I wrote my first book, Cola Hill. Now, a lot of you don't know anything about Cola Hill, but I came from a family of 10. I'm the second child. And tell you a little bit about myself. I've been married for 52 years. I have 3 grown children. I have 7 grandchildren. And I've been in Waynesboro all my life. Never moved anywhere, been in the same house for 52 years, right here. And I'm well known in this community, well known. Cola Hill is a neighborhood. And all 6 of my books center around Cola Hill. All the books I've written. This little girl was raised up on Cola Hill. She lived with my grandparents. Her mom went away to make a living for herself, got married, made a living for herself. But she had a lot of challenges in her life. She went to the blind and deaf school in Raleigh at the age of, I think she was about 6 years old. And she went on to go to Shaw University. She has a major in social work, and she's still living today. Her birthday is this month. She will be 74 years old, but she's in a living facility. And I'm just going to read a little bit about the foreword. It says, "We don't always understand what God is doing." Telling you, we don't always understand what he's doing. But we do hold on to his promises and know that he will make a way. God will make a way for you. He'll make a way. A few minutes ago, I asked you to close your eyes and see if you can walk to your car. You couldn't do it on your own, but if you had faith and you had to get to your car, you would make it to your car. You would make it. So I say that to say this. This young lady was blind, couldn't see. She got married. She had 3 children. She took care of those children. And then when the children got up, subsides, her husband left her for a lady who could see. And if you don't think that will break your heart, take your children from you and marry someone else. But she still made it. And she told me that she never questioned God. We can question him because he's the only one who can give us the answer. But she never questioned God. And she went through a lot. And she wanted her book. She wanted to tell her story. She wanted to write her book. But she couldn't afford a Braille typewriter. So while we were talking one night, I told her, I said, let me be your eyes. Use my eyes and my hands to write your story. And so that's what we did. It took a few months to do it. But she wanted to tell her story because her story will help someone else. You may not be physically blind, but most of us are spiritually blind. And some of the funny things in this book that she told me when we were writing it, she said she went to a Camp Dogwood. And she said, I got on a horse. I said, you did what? She said, I got on a horse. And she said, and you know what? That horse took me for a ride. Not knowing that someone was leading that horse. Only thing she knew, someone put her on the horse and the horse just took off. I thought that was something, But she enjoyed it. And then she discussed with me about things that blind people just don't do. She said, you know what? People who have their sight, they'll run a red light. She said, I would never run a red light. No. And she said, some people are fearful of getting on an airplane. She said, I flew on a plane, didn't bother me. And kayak, she said she got on a kayak. I would never go to the river and get on a kayak and go. I wouldn't do that. But she was physically blind, but in so many ways, she had her sight. So this book can be found on Amazon. It's $10 today. You can buy it at Walmart, Barnes & Noble, and Books A Million. And that's my story about this book. I thank y'all so much.
See what happens when you listen to the elders? Get some nice books out of you, right? Thank you, Irene. Amazing story. I closed my eyes over there. I ran into the wall a couple of times. But she's right. You can't do it without some kind of help. I have learned a valuable lesson today. You would think I didn't have to come to Marvin to figure that out, right? Hey, never too late. The next young lady, Tijuana Straight. She says she's an author by divine assignment. That's pretty powerful. The other thing I like about her, she enjoys family and the simple life. She has a book called While I'm Waiting, and I'd like to hear her story. Let's give her a hand as she comes forward.
Hello, everybody. Thank you to the organizers and Arthur Adams for this opportunity to come and be with you guys and tell you a little bit about what I've been divinely inspired to write. I won't bore you talking about myself that much. I will get right into the meat of why I'm here. This is my second published work. The first published book that I have is a compilation of memoirs that I wrote with a couple ladies, and it's called Forever for Life, The Memoirs of a Sisterhood. And I won't call it an anthology because we did not have one common goal in mind before we started to write. God just gave me the vision for us to write during a turbulent time in life. And I asked these other three ladies, and I said, hey, God said, let's do. And we wrote. No common theme, but once we finished and we started to exchange stories, then we did have a common theme. But that's because God does everything decent and in order, right? So if you would ask me how I got to While I'm Waiting, after the first book was published in 2021, the last part of what I wrote in my chapter of the book was a chapter called Faith Forward. And I wrote about some things that I expected to see God do, change, and be in my life. Some changes that I expected to see Him make, being a divorcee, recovering from spousal abuse, now a single mother. I'm also operations manager in finance. I'm a licensed minister. So it's a whole lot that I was just juggling and needed to see some changes, some progression, and some divine direction. So I found myself in just this period of waiting, right? Because I've written all these things that God has told me were gonna happen or need to happen, and I'm just waiting. Anybody else just been waiting? Do we like to wait? None of us likes to wait, but the thing about waiting is it doesn't discriminate. Like death, it's something we all have to do. Waiting is definitely something we all have to do. It doesn't matter whether we're male, whether we're female, we have to wait. But because we don't want to wait, there's this negative connotation attached to it and this negative stigma, and we're just like, I gotta wait. I don't want to wait. You know, we have our bratty moments, but it's not supposed to be that way. Waiting is not supposed to be an idle period in our life. There's actually purpose while we wait. So as I begin to talk to God, and He actively talks to me, I don't know why, but He does. As I begin to talk to Him, I'm like, okay, Lord, what am I supposed to do while I'm waiting for these things to come to pass? I know what you told me. What am I supposed to do? And He says, hey, I'm going to tell you what to do. But just know it's not what you're doing. It's not having a pity party. It's not sitting there feeling sorry for yourself. It's not wondering why, when, and where, and who, and all of those things. It's not that. And I only have one prerequisite, and that is, as I show you what to do while you're waiting, I need you to pay it forward and share it with everybody else, because we all will be waiting at some point or another, right? So this book, While I'm Waiting, is practical as well as instructional. There are things that you have to do while you're waiting. One of the things is checking your inner circle, writing down why this person is attached to me, why this person is not, why I shouldn't go here, why I shouldn't go there. So as you're going through the book, there's actually assignments that go hand in hand with the book. So in addition to the book, then I have a workbook, because I believe that journaling is therapeutic. And trust me, you want to see your progress. When you get from here to where you're actually going, where God wants you to be, it's a good feeling to look back and see where you came from. But you won't know everything, or everything won't be so vivid for you unless you have recorded it, right? If you kept record. So that's the reason that in addition to the book, While I'm Waiting, I have this workbook, and it gives you your assignments, and it is where you're going to record your actions as you work through the process of waiting. It is not time to sulk, it is time to work while you're waiting. And these are my divinely inspired instructions as to what to do while we're waiting. I will continue to write as God gives me purpose to write, because again, this was never my choice in what to do, but how many of us is doing what we chose to do anyway, right? Not for my choice, but this is my ministry. This is the way that God allows me to usher in deliverance. He gives me the words to put on paper to help the next person. And so for all He's done for me, that's the least I can do for Him. So that's it. And thank you for your time.
Thank you, Tijuana. She says she does not know why God talks to her. I think we all know that. It's pretty apparent he's using her to do great things, have spread good positive energy, and we appreciate it. Tijuana. Next young lady is Mary Murrow. She's the CEO and owner of Rescue Me, a digital marketing agency that offers website design, graphic design, marketing tools, and resources to help produce revenue. I'm gonna tell you before you get out of here, I need to talk to you. We're in the same line of work. I'm kind of trying to ease out of the field. I need some help, okay? So we need to talk. So let's give her a hand if you come forward.
Good.
Clear it up, turn it up. We're good.
Good evening. My name is Mary Merle, not to go on the street.
Oh. My man.
Thank you. How's everyone doing this evening? Well, I'm glad to be here, so I want to welcome you all here as well, and everybody that's live or online, virtually. Thank you to Parita for having me, and HOLLA, thank you also for having me. The name of my business that I have, I'm a business owner, the name of it is called Rescue Me Virtually. And what I like to do is help people. That's just a part of me, and that's just what I like to do. The name of my book is called Set Apart and Chosen. It is an anthology, and it's God uses ordinary women to do extraordinary things. Inside of my chapter, it's called Standing Tall in a Seated Position. And that's the story of how I got in my wheelchair. I know that sometimes I listen to a lot of stories. People tell their stories. And sometimes they're heartwarming stories. And I never thought to myself that I had a story, because my story was never like anybody else's. When I went through what I went through, I wound up losing relatives. I lost 2 cousins when I went through. But when I opened up my eyes, all I could do was say, God, thank you. God, thank you for saving me. I made it through. And from that day forth, I always had a smile on my face. I never went through being depressed, being down. And when people came to visit me in my hospital room, I encouraged them, because they didn't know what to say to me. Sometimes you go to the hospital, you don't know what to say to the person, especially if somebody can't walk or can't speak or can't move. You're just not sure, how should I interact with this person? So I brought a smile to their face when they came inside of my room. I was in the hospital for 3 months. And it took me, 30 days just to be able to lift my leg up, put my own clothes on. They said that was unusual. Nobody did that quickly. But I was determined I wasn't going to stay down and be down. I got through there. I was in shock trauma for a while, but I got through there. So after I got out, I learned how to drive. I had to learn how to drive again. I had to learn how to sit up again. I had to learn how to bathe and put my clothes on. I had to do all that, as well as I had a daughter. She was about 3 or 4 around that time. So I was a mother, so I had to raise my child. But I didn't let any of that stop me. So I just want to go out and encourage other people that are going through anything that they think that might keep them down, that don't let anything, no circumstance keep you from doing what you want to do. You can do anything that you want to do. So I just like to encourage people. So that's my word for the day, just to encourage anybody that's in this room. Do not let anything stop you from doing anything that you want to do. You can purchase my book at my table. It's over here, or you can go to my website, which is Mary E. Murrill, MURRILL.com. For my business, for Rescue Me Virtually, you can go to rescuemevirtually.com. rescueme.com, and my social media is the same, Rescue Me Virtually. Thank you for having me this evening.
Hey. You go out there.
My dad used to say my dad's a Baptist minister, Reverend Dr. W.H. Gatewood, and sometimes somebody would get up and pray, or a visiting pastor would give a good sermon, and he'd say, "I'm full." That's the way I'm feeling right now. I'm really full listening to these amazing authors. Thank you, Mary. And I'm serious. I'm not just talking. I am on the landing strip. I've spent about 30 years into the advertising and marketing field, done government contracting. I've done it all. And as I was reading your resume, I said, I'm looking for people ready to pass that torch in somebody's work. So we definitely have to talk. Thank you very much. Now, Tara, is Tara in the building? Somebody was supposed to be coming in virtually.
She is coming virtual. She said she can't get into the link. I'll try to resend it.
Okay, see if she can get in. We'll put it toward the end.
Okay.
We'd love to hear from her. We're going to go to the next person. A special educator, licensed massage therapist, Monique Johnson. And she is in Wisdom Mill. Man, look at all these Maryland folks here. Did you all coordinate this? You coming to train or what? I mean, Maryland is in the house. Thank you, thank you. I feel at home in more ways than one. So thank you again. Monique Johnson, she has a book called The Undeniable Strength of a Woman. I love the title. I love to hear more about it. I'm sure you do as well. Let me put her name up here. I got to stay on top of this, right? So let's give a hand to Monique Johnson as she comes forward.
Good evening, everyone. Yes, and to my virtual crew, hello. I would like to say thank you, HOLLA, for having me. Yes, I'm grateful for the opportunity. Parita, thank you for orchestrating all of this. You worked tirelessly, girl. Yes, and I'm happy to be here and to be here with you all. So thank you for supporting us. So my name is Monique Johnson. I'm originally from Queens, New York, but I'm now in Baltimore, Maryland. And I've been a special educator for, next year will be 30 years. I'll be retiring from Baltimore City Public Schools. I work with pre-K and kindergarten students who have disabilities, mainly autism. So the babies are my passion. And also the writing. The writing has been dormant. I've been inspired by my mom, Dolores King. She has written poetry from just a youngster. We've always read books. My sister and I, who I have a twin, we used to walk to the local library every Saturday. And so the writing came to me on and off through whatever experiences I was going through at the time. I would pick up the pen. Writing is healing for me, it's very therapeutic for me. And it doesn't necessarily have to be during times that are not so comfortable. It could be during joyous times. I just love to write. And when they shut down the school systems and I had to teach virtually, a lot of different gifts just started coming forward. And instead of just sitting around, I just put forth the action. And so God had put it in me, you need to pick back that pen back up. And so the pen started I started to just write. I've been connected with some amazing people. One of the ladies, Kimberly LeBou, she's a visionary author. I was introduced to anthologies. And I just love the whole concept of a collection of stories by various authors coming together, just sharing their experiences. And we all will come together under a particular theme. The first anthology that I worked on was Queens Who Defied the Odds by Cheryl Hurley. And that's how I met beautiful Parita. I've met Mary through a writer's retreat hosted by Kimberly LeBou. And I'm on the current anthology, The Undeniable Strength of a Woman. And I'm one of 7 authors. My chapter is Sleeping with the Enemy, and it focuses on domestic violence. And, in my why, I just really wanted to be the voice to the voiceless. Sometimes many of us, we go through hardships, and sometimes we suppress our voices. Sometimes we may feel like, I can't connect with someone, or I'm afraid to tell my story. What would people think? And it's interesting today, and I love Charlotte. I'm here with my lovely aunt, who's my biggest supporter, Shirley King. And I was running errands this morning, and I connected with someone at Harris Teeter. And it was a lovely lady named Yvonne. She was helping me with some flowers, and we just started chit-chatting, and she was asking me, well, why are you down? And I told her about the HOLLA event. I gave her the information, and she said, well, what is your story? And I started to share with her how domestic violence knocked on my door. I never knew that it would. I've witnessed family members, friends, but I've never thought that it could happen, and it can happen to anyone. And she said, you know what? I am a survivor of domestic violence. And I was just like, wow. So you just never know, just having just a casual conversation. And, and I really wanted to share my story because there were a lot of red flags that I chose to overlook based off of my experiences. And I actually had to do the work of myself as to, instead of just putting it on the other person, well, wait a minute, maybe there's a reason why you're attracting certain type of relationships. And it doesn't have to necessarily be a romantic relationship. It could be a friendship. It could be relationships in the workplace. And so I had to do the work on myself. And so as I worked on myself, I began to realize, you do matter. You are worthy. And that's what I tell women. You are worthy of all healthy relationships. And so I put that in here. I put in here the red flags. I've also put in poetry. Poetry during different times, my different emotions, working through it. Some poems are may not be as lively, but then towards the end, once you get the book, you will see how it changes, the shift changes, the tone changes. And I do not regret it. God wanted me to learn some more lessons. And I learned many lessons. I put myself first of all, I put myself first. And once you put yourself first, love yourself, everything just falls into line. And you can see clearly, your eyes are open. And so I just want women to, just be encouraged and inspired by the stories in this book, along with my story. And I also put in helpful information in case someone is going through a domestic violence situation, or if they know of a loved one or a friend. I have resources in here just to help. If they're intimidated, they can still share in a way where it'll just be more comfortable for them. And so as I went on a writing retreat, oh gosh, it was like the year before last, Kimberly LeBou, she called me the resident poet. And and she asked me to write a poem for the title. So I just want to share that with you all. The undeniable strength of a woman. The undeniable strength of a woman runs deeply within her soul. The undeniable strength of a woman walks with ease and simple elegance. The undeniable strength of a woman wears a regal crown and adjusts accordingly. The undeniable strength of a woman has honor. The undeniable strength of a woman carries the weight of the world on her shoulders. The undeniable strength of a woman displays vulnerability. The undeniable strength of a woman loves herself deeply. The undeniable strength of a woman inhales deeply and exhales slowly. The undeniable strength of a woman projects her truth, even if it means going against the grain. The undeniable strength of a woman projects her truth, even if it means going against the grain. The undeniable strength of a woman taps into a divine force for strength. The undeniable strength of a woman overcomes life's trials and tribulations. The undeniable strength of a woman pushes through adversity and perseveres. The undeniable strength of a woman triumphs during challenging times. The undeniable strength of a woman is a woman who walks with authority, purpose, and courage. The undeniable strength of a woman has a rooted connection to history. The undeniable strength of a woman has the power of influence. Her power spans the whole generation of women, present and future. The undeniable strength of a woman shares infinite wisdom as a badge of honor. The undeniable strength of a woman is an intricate masterpiece woven together like a textured quilt. The undeniable strength of a woman has many layers about her, layers that tell a different story, a story like many. The undeniable strength of a woman births many stories. The undeniable strength of a woman gathers strength from other women, women who share similar stories of despair, loss, pain, heartache, sorrow, but also love, triumph, perseverance, wisdom, and integrity. The undeniable strength of a woman is resilient and withstands the test of time. Lovingly written by this woman of undeniable strength, Monique Johnson. So I was just really honored that Kimberly came to me because, you know, we all go through so much, and, you know, all it takes is just a little conversation, and you'd be surprised how we can just change and impact lives. And that's what I'm all about, impacting and changing lives. And we need more of that in this world. And you can follow me on Facebook, Monique Johnson Writes. You can visit me at my table this evening. The books are $15. If you used to purchase 2 or more, they'll drop to $13. My website is MoniqueJohnsonWrites.com. If you would like to shoot me an email, I am MoniqueJohnsonWrites@gmail.com. So thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
I thought I was full, but there was always room for more. Thank you, Monique. Monique said that a strong woman triumphs during challenging times. I like to think that we actually, as a society, survived this pandemic through the help from women. They were on the front line of this struggle in education and healthcare.
primary caregivers of kids that had to stay home. So I want to thank, through Monique, all the women out here. Let's give yourselves a hand. Thank you very much. I think Tara did finally get in, so we're going to bring her forward. She was scheduled to be in person, but she's going to come on virtually. So Tara, we see you over there. Are you ready to go? Give me a thumbs up if you are. Well, she's nodding, so I guess that'll do just as well, right? All right, folks, we're going to bring up our next author. That's going to be the final author of the day. And when we conclude, I'm going to ask Mary to come back up. And we're going to get to Tara. Let me just see here. She is a poet, author, public speaker. She's always had a passion for writing, and she started at a young age. But that's the way it usually works, though, isn't it? She has a book called Clara's Curse. And let's give her a hand. We're going to put her up on the screen here. So just give her a hand. And Tara, we have a slight delay, so I'm going to give you the thumbs up when it's time for you to start talking. So hang in there for a second. Hold on.
Okay.
All right, you're good.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tara L. Thompson. I am from Rock Hill, South Carolina, and I became a published author in 2014. I have written 3 books, and my latest book is a fiction novel entitled Clara's Curse. Clara's Curse is a gritty novel that deals with 3 sisters that grew up in the 1960s. They grew up in a land of molestation, abuse, and as soon as they could leave the home, they left. 30 years later, their grandmother called them back to the home to fulfill her dying request. And they have to, in order to fulfill the dying request, they have to forgive her. And in that process, they uncover all kind of family secrets, drama, and murder. The reason why I wrote Clara's Curse is because I feel like in the Black community, there are certain things that we just don't discuss. And because we don't discuss them, we do not break generational curses. The cycle continues to happen over and over again because things are not talked about, things are not discussed. And even though this is a fiction novel, I'm pretty sure a lot of us have heard about it or even experienced it in our own families. So I wanted to put it out there to let people know it's okay to talk about, it's okay to discuss, and that's the only way these cycles will break and will not continue. This story is also about a story of redemption, about forgiveness and how that looks, because sometimes we forgive and we don't forget, or we forgive, but we don't make those same mistakes. Forgiveness can look different for each and every one of us. And the 3 sisters, if they forgave or they didn't forgive, I don't want to give it away, but they had their own path to travel in order to get to where they were. And also how they grew up affected them when they were older. So this book, like I said, is about redemption, about forgiveness, about overcoming the things that happen to you when you're a child and being the best person you can be. And this book also deals with breaking those generational curses. What I want to do is read the back of the book so you all can get an understanding of what it's exactly about. Clarina Kendall Falk, eldest of the Kendall sisters, has always been the reliable one. Blessed with an immaculate home, handsome husband, and a lifestyle that most would dream of, she appears to be the epitome of success. However, no one knows the personal hell she goes through daily. Gwendolyn Kendall has forever had her older sister Clarina to lean on and repeatedly bail her out of trouble. Constantly chasing love has left Gwen heartbroken and desperate, raising her kids alone. Gwen's only goal is for someone to provide her with the unconditional love she desires by any means necessary. Beatrice Kendall was taught never to trust anyone and has been holding on to that her entire life. Using people for what she can gain has been her lifelong motto. Now that she is at the end of her rope, she must devise another plan. When the Kendall sisters are summoned by their dying grandmother, Clara, to return to their hometown of Timminsville, South Carolina, they are forced to relive a tumultuous past. Seeing firsthand how sin, doom, and lustful natures have plagued their family, will they be able to face the demons that were once hidden? Can these deep-rooted generational curses be broken before the cycle continues? You can find Clara's Curse on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, also my website. And I am running a discounted price. Usually my books are $20 on my website, taralthompson.net. I'm running for this event a sale for $15. Thank you all so much. Thank you for this opportunity. And I hope everyone has a blessed night.
All right, boy, we have had quite an evening. Let's give all of our authors a hand. Thank you, Tara. And thank you for that special. So Tara has $5 off of her book. Y'all better jump on it. You might not see that price again. And I think her books are on the other side. Is that correct? Right, Karita? All right. I'd like Mary to come up again. Mary, if you don't mind joining us again. Wait a minute.
I don't need to be in front of you. I think so. You need me in front of you?
You don't have to.
Okay.
You can go right ahead.
All right, I know y'all probably can't see me. Y'all can see John's pole, right? Okay. What we want to do is have Miss Parita come up here. Come up here, Miss Parita. Put that down. Put that down. Come over here, Miss Parita. Step over my feet. Oh, God. Come on. Oh, Jesus. Don't do it. On behalf of the writers, we want to say thank you. You have put so much.
Would have never thought that it would be so many great authors that I would work really well with. And y'all have been simply amazing. As I said, there was a waiting list, and I really wanted to bring them all in the house, but we wouldn't have enough room. So thank you, Leon. We will be doing this next year. This is our second annual, right? So come up here. Come on up. We will be doing this next year. I make him nervous because he was like, where we gonna put all these people? And all night long. I was like, just trust me.
Chill out.
And I had to get mom. That's my mom right there, Miss Pepper. She's my godmother for such a long time. I love you. And she's always stretched and challenged me and know my ability. But anyway, I'm happy about my flowers. Thank you. And to all of the amazing virtual authors, you showed up and you showed out. Next year we're going international. So hold on.
All right.
Hold on. So I'm excited and I love you. And this is not the last time y'all be hearing from me. Like I told John when I saw him downtown, I was like, you know who I am? He said, of course. So I will always remember each and every one of you. Keep going, keep writing, keep sharing, keep inspiring, keep educating, keep motivating, okay? Because there's someone out there who can really use your stories. They save lives. And I appreciate it.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Farida.
Okay, I got some pepper.
I just want to say on behalf of the HOLLA Center, thank each and every one of you for coming out. Thank you. You're so fortunate. Okay, cool.
I be doing what you don't know, right?
I know, you do, you do.
Okay.
They say, the young people say you do too much.
But you know, we do know that just like I gave up a time, y'all gave up time. You drove here and you applied yourself, and I'm so grateful that you did this because this is for you more than us, right? And for so many people that y'all have touched. So I want to call up Tawana Ray.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for here. It's your feather pen. Okay, so keep writing, keep going. Mary Merle. Oh, look at that. So, yeah, you thought you outdid me, but you know I keep going. Okay. So, Mary, on behalf of Genesis and definitely on behalf of HOLLA, thank you. We appreciate your time. Irene. Okay.
Thanks.
We want to say thank you
You are so welcome.
on behalf of Paul and Jim.
Okay, you're gonna take me.
And use your feather pen. Oops. So keep writing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Y'all don't know, in our Zoom meetings, Ms. K just kept me in check at all times. Thank you, Ms. K, for trusting me with this and being a part of this. We appreciate you. Love you. Monique Johnson. On behalf of HOLLA, Genesis, we really appreciate your time and want you to keep writing. Thank you. Miss Sandy. Thank you, Miss Sandy, for participating. Keep writing. John. I know who you are too. Keep writing.
Thank you.
Tony. I'm so very proud of you in so many ways. You just, words can't express it. Thank you. Cheryl.
sharing those words of wisdom, even though we got to come to your table to do it. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thank you again, everyone. Once again, let's give all the authors another hand.
I keep coming. Leon. On behalf of Genesis, I want to give you this and thank you for allowing me to work on this project. Beautiful feather pen.
Oh, man, beautiful.
Leon said he was speechless, but he better have at least one speech ready because I'm going to call him up in a second. You guys have been amazing. From the left side of the room to the middle, to the far right, front, back, on the other side. This has been an amazing evening. And you must admit, we've been here since about 5 o'clock. It's after 8 o'clock. Everybody, don't remind me, right? But I have enjoyed every second. I really have. I really appreciate everybody for staying in and hanging in there and letting the authors say their piece. It was well worth the wait. So what I'm going to do when we adjourn, everybody, I'd like you to network, get to know your neighbor, visit each other's booths, buy books. I'm sure that there was something that was said here tonight that might inspire you, and be bold enough to tell that person. They may have made an impact on their lives. And I know I've been impacted tonight. So I want to thank everybody who played a role in that. I'm going to bring Leon back up and let him wrap things up. Leon is really the reason we're here. Besides looking at some good authors, but Leon has put together this amazing organization, HOLLA. And I'm going to let him close things out for us. It's been a pleasure, me and my organization, the Marketing Pulpit. And I want you to support Parita. Parita and I, my company, Marketing Pulpit, we have a business directory, and Parita and I are putting together some specials for you authors. So stay in touch with her, and we'll make sure that it's going to help promote those books. And so we're working on something together that's going to really, I think, going to really impact your books and your sales and the message you're trying to get out. I know some of you are not just doing it for the money. You're doing it because you have a story. You're trying to inspire people. You have and that's important to me. Matter of fact, more so than money. But whatever the reason, you still have to get the books in people's hands to have that type of impact. So check with Parita. She's told me we're going to do it. We already met on it a couple of times. So we're putting together something going to help you move those books. Leon, let's give Leon a hand if he comes forward.
Well, the real reason I didn't want to get up here because I've been here since about 3 or 4, 5, 6 this morning. We had our 5K. So we did that first thing this morning, and it was one of our most successful. Give Devin Pettiford a big hand on everything that's happened today. We had our 5K, and we had it's our major fundraiser. It's the fundraiser that we have that we can spend money to do things like upgrade the building and stuff like that. So we really appreciate all the support on that. And what I told the young people, what I told the people this morning is the HOLLA organization is, I like to call it the true America, where we invite people in to do what they want to do, use their experiences, use their talents to do what they want to do. So Devin shows up, her mother shows up, Parita shows up. There's our board chair standing there, Ms. Keisha Dunlap. Give her a big hand right quick. So we just want people to experience, use their talents. So this place, I wish you would look around while you're here. You go out back, you know, have the tennis courts and things like that. I was on the high school's first tennis team, and that's why we decided to have tennis, because I got beat so bad, I didn't want anybody else, children, to get beat that bad. So we just try to use our experiences to make things better for our children. That makes sense? Okay. Well, I'm not going to talk anymore. It's been a long day, and I really appreciate you being here. So give yourselves a hand. God bless you. You will be hearing from us again, and we hope to see you again next year, right? Come back, hang out with us a little bit. Have some other things going on that we'd like to share with you as well. Somebody say something?
Oh, I said May 18th. It's Saturday, May 18th.
Right.
It's on the back of the sponsorship.
I like the way you watch. Well, I'm done, Robert. Let's give our MC a big hand. All right. I'm number 11. No, I'm number 11. He's number 10. Yeah, out of 14.
All right, folks, let's get out here and network and buy these books. All right, let's go buy some books.
Buy some books. All right.
And to all of our listening audiences online, thank you again for tuning in. We're going to be tuning out. This show will be available on the Marketing Pulpit website in a few days, but you get to see the premiere and you get to see it live. And go to, we'll be on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter. And thank you again for tuning in. You've been a great audience. And we will see you at the next evening with the authors. As Ms. Pettifoot has said, it's going to be in May of 2024. Look forward to seeing you then and wishing you a good night from the Marketing Pulpit. Go to marketingpulpit.com, find out more about our organization, watch some of the past shows. I am Robert Gatewood, the host. I'm also available on Radio 1 95.9 FM every Friday at 10:30 a.m. Something got him out. So y'all have a good evening, and we'll see you soon.